Yes, the unmistakable theme to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. The song's actually called, believe it or not, Sunny Side Up. Happy Tuesday, 27th day of August, 2024. I'm Dan Kuntz. The cold front is on its way. It's knocking on our door. It's not quite here yet. In about an hour and a half, it will be here in full force. Very windy this afternoon, especially between about noon to about 6 into the evening hours. But the windiest portion of our day will be between about 12 noon to about 6 o'clock tonight, as this rather vigorous and fast-moving cold front comes in. By tomorrow about 11 a.m. or noon, it'll be gone. And then a great Labor Day weekend. If you like it sunny and warm, and I think most people do, the unofficial wrap-up of summer that's looking really good. It starts tomorrow. We'll be into the 90s by the time we get to the weekend. And the weather's not going to change from that ridge of high pressure and the sunny and hot until we get to Tuesday of next week, which is perfect. It's going to start changing a little bit on Labor Day, but for the most part, once we get through today, beautiful stretch of weather. Forecast details are coming up. News, yes. Sports, best case scenario, Mariners won, Astros lost. Mariners have crept within 3.5 games of Houston, who've been stubbing their toes a little bit lately. We like that. We'll have highlights when we get to sports. It's back to school for a lot of the school districts. I think Cascade starts today. Almost all of the other major school districts start tomorrow. Wenatchee, Eastmont School District, Moses Lake School District, Cashmere, Antioch, Chelan. I think they all get going tomorrow, or certainly by the end of this week. Dr. Becky Berg will be my guest in the back half of the program. She is the superintendent of the Eastmont School District. We'll find out how her summer went and preview the upcoming school year with Dr. Berg. That'll be in the back half of the program. It's 2 minutes after the hour, and here we go. Cameras around the valley. We got clouds right now, at least fairly cloudy skies. They're going to be leaving us as the day progresses, as this cold front comes cooking in here. It's going to be a northwest wind, by the way, so that's what you're going to notice as it picks up in intensity. But the clouds will be departing us as the day progresses. A lot of sunshine this afternoon, but it is a cold front. We hit 80 yesterday. We're going to be lucky to get to 70 today. By the way, we're still getting, these days are really getting shorter now. About 3.5 minutes, about three minutes and 15 seconds of daylight is what we're losing every day. Sunrise this morning, 6:14. Sunset tonight, 7:49. So 13 hours, 35 minutes of daylight. Up to Billy Goat we go. They got some clouds up there. Not too bad, but some clouds up there. Look at the sun peeking through the high clouds. That is zoomed way out. That's our Billy Goat camera. That's about as far out as it can zoom. I wonder how many square miles that entails. You can see Pateros. You can see, of course, Brewster a little bit farther up. Don't forget now they're doing chip sealing work on Highway 97 between Tenasket and Oroville. It's about a 10-mile stretch of highway way up to the north of us near the Canadian border. They're going to be doing some chip sealing work, so get ready for a pilot car to take you around that. Up north, just want to give you a heads up on that. They won't be working on Friday and they won't be working on Monday, so there is that. Let's head on up to see Lake Wenatchee. This looks ominous, doesn't it? Ooh, Lake Wenatchee. Pretty calm up there, but again, the winds are coming. They're on their way. We don't have a red flag warning, but there are some locations that do. We're going to show you that in just a little bit. But good morning to our friends up at Lake Wenatchee, and good morning to our friends up Black Mountain way high atop Shaston. I think that's pointed towards Leavenworth. It's kind of hard to tell from this angle whether it is or not. We have a lot of bright lights in the studio. Sometimes I can't really make out what I'm looking at. But that is Black Mountain, high above Shaston. I mentioned it's going to be windy this afternoon and tonight, for that matter. The winds will be dying down in the overnight hours. That red blotch that you see there is a red flag warning. For most of it is obviously going to be the far eastern Columbia Basin and heading towards Spokane. They have a red flag warning because they're going to have stronger winds than we're going to have, and the relative humidity is going to be slightly lower than what we're going to have. So no red flag warning for the Wenatchee Valley, but you can see these are peak wind gusts, not sustained winds. You can see the direction it's coming out of and where it's headed, so get ready for a very windy afternoon again. The windiest part for the Wenatchee Valley will be between noon to about 6. It'll gradually die down by this time tomorrow. The winds will be out of here because the cold front will be somewhere in far eastern Montana. From the National Weather Service, here we go. Wind, a lot of it. Partly sunny this morning and then lots of sunshine this afternoon, but the trade-off, of course, is the wind. Northwest wind, sustained winds at about 20 miles an hour, gusts in the mid-30s to close to 40 miles an hour later on this afternoon, and a lot cooler. We're only going to get to 70. We hit 80 yesterday. Our normal high is 84 this time of the year. Clear tonight. It'll be breezy in the overnight hours, eventually dying down to very little wind at all by sunrise on Wednesday. And then here we go to 80 on Wednesday. By Thursday, a high pressure ridge will be well entrenched. It's a big dome. It's going to stick around for Thursday, for Friday, for Saturday, and Sunday. It's going to start breaking down and moving out of our area on Monday afternoon, which is Labor Day proper. Tuesday is a little too far out for us to really give you a general idea, but the Labor Day weekend, a 3-day weekend, for a lot of people anyway, a 3-day weekend, looking really good. Sunny and nice with highs in the mid-90s. The big story today, the wind, and a lot of it. All right, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll let you know what's making news on this Tuesday. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Public notice. Never before RV public auction. 5 days only. August 22nd to the 26th. Come down and place your bid with no bid refused. There's hundreds of new and used RVs to be auctioned like Flagstaff, Starcraft, Forest River, Jayco, and Salem. Amazing financing. 0 down and no payments until 2025. There's food and refreshments. And you could be an instant winner of a 2024 trailer or $30,000 in cash. So don't miss the one-time only bid and buy auction sale. 5 days only. August 22nd through the 26th.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
I'm Jim Heinlein, agent at Springwater Insurance here in North Central Washington. As a licensed agent, we can't disclose any plan changes as it relates to Medicare year 2025, but we are getting ahead of all of these upcoming changes that will affect you. We have rented the entire upstairs ballroom for the first 3 days of October. You will get all your Medicare questions answered, but don't miss this talk or I'll explain all your options. To save a seat, give us a call now.
Fairly cloudy skies, 64 degrees. The wind is now starting to pick up a little bit. It's now 15 miles an hour. We're going to see sustained winds above 20, gusts close to 40. The skies will be clearing out, but this cold front is going to be long gone by about noon tomorrow, and then sunny and warm right into the holiday. 9 minutes after the hour, the Shasta man charged in the death of a Yakima toddler was found guilty last week of the child's murder. A jury in Yakima County convicted 31-year-old Terrence Chip Ogle of second-degree murder in the 2020 death of Alexander Lynch, who was just 15 months old. The boy was the son of Ogle's girlfriend. Ogle was alone with Alex in a West Valley apartment when the child suffered a traumatic brain injury consistent with physical abuse. Alex died later that day. Jurors took just 4 hours to find Ogle guilty. After a 2-week trial, he is due to be sentenced on September 27th. Police say a Cashmere driver ejected from a pickup truck Sunday after a 2-vehicle collision suffered only minor injuries. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies say the driver of a 1990 Ford F-150 was northbound on Jumpstick Highway 3 miles north of Leavenworth at about 5:13 on Sunday afternoon when he slowed to turn left onto a driveway. The driver of a northbound 2006 GMC Canyon moved into the left lane to pass and struck the vehicle as it turned. The F-150 flipped from the collision. The driver was thrown from the passenger window. This is according to Chief of Patrol Seth Bueller with the Chelan County Sheriff's Office. The driver's injuries were found to be minimal. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. Bueller says no tickets have yet been issued. A property owner whose development work on Number 1 Canyon Road is the subject of lawsuits and opposition from neighbors, well, he's now been found in contempt of court. Tyler Chambers began in 2021 to build 3 homes for himself and his family on 67 acres, but the next year, Chelan County placed a stop work order on his preparations, saying he needed to complete a critical areas review. The county says Chambers has continued intermittent earthwork on the land despite that order. And on Friday, Judge Travis Brandt found Chambers in contempt for violating the conditions of that order and fined him $200. That fine doesn't need to be paid unless there are additional violations, and it will be dropped if the county approves Chambers' permits. Back in May, we had a chance to visit with Chambers, and he says he feels unfairly targeted by Chelan County, and it's set the project back.
I've hired all these professionals, spent tens of thousands of dollars doing studies. I've done 5 geoassessments. Who does 5 geoassessments? Who? Nobody. We had all of our stuff already planned in 21, and then, you know, the county threw a monkey wrench in that, and so, and interest rates now are, you know, 3 times what they were at the time, and you know, we bought equipment, and by the time I'm done, here in like 3 months, I'll own it now. So, and our plan was to buy it, use it, sell it. But anyway, so now it'll be mine.
Aside from localized flooding, the significant rainstorms that we had Friday night and Saturday had another effect, and a good one. They led Chelan County to lower one of its wildfire danger ratings from extreme to very high. County commissioners agreed yesterday to drop the rating in the Valley Zone. The Valley Zone includes Wenatchee, Chelan, Cashmere, and communities along the Columbia River and its tributaries. Restrictions are still in place on activities like campfires and target shooting, but of course individual fire districts and public land agencies have their own rules, so before you're heading into the backcountry, check with them to find out what the fire regulations are where you plan on going. Washington Attorney General Bob Ferguson has filed a lawsuit against RealPage. That's a national revenue management software company for allegedly conspiring to increase rent prices. Ferguson launched an investigation into RealPage after an article in January of 2023 by ProPublica that detailed ways that the company's algorithms could be contributing to rising rent costs. The lawsuit was filed on Friday. It accuses RealPage of using sensitive information for its software system and of advising landlords to maintain or increase rental prices even when occupancy is down. And students in our area are heading back to school if they're not already. For the Wenatchee School District, they go back to school tomorrow. Ahead of this school year, Wenatchee, of course, faced an $8 million budget crisis, and they closed Columbia Elementary School. In his first year on the job, Superintendent Corey Callahar took the lead in navigating both of those challenges. He sat down with me last week and spoke with me about the past year and how he's feeling about the year ahead. This is your second year with the big job. Mm-hmm. The learning curve is now done. Now your feet are wet. You're good to go. Talk about your expectations, Corey, not the school district, you personally as the superintendent heading into the school year.
Well, I appreciate that, Dan. Always great questions. And leading into the conversation is I do feel like I have that first year under my belt and feel a lot better about my knowledge and direction and where I want the school district to go. But honestly, it's still a learning curve. There is still that learning curve. There are new things that are coming at us every single year. And but it's great to be in the job and in the role and have some consistency ahead of us for the school district. And I'm really looking forward to year 3 of our strategic plan. I'm looking forward to completing a softball complex at Triangle Park and really looking forward to bringing the kids back on the 28th.
The interim tag you no longer wear. Well, you never wore a tag that said interim on it, right? I mean, literally. Does that make you feel a little bit better?
Well, it does. I saw the opportunity was to enter the school district as superintendent with that interim label, and that was the entry point that I had, and so I had to take that opportunity. And just very, very thankful and grateful for the year that we had last year. It was challenging. It was tough. There's a lot of change coming up, but to have the support of the school board and to have the consistency and leadership for the Wenatchee School District, I think is going to be hugely important, and it'll help us attack the challenges that we have, I think, with gusto and to do it the right way.
the Columbia decision was painful. We all know that. Nobody wants to see a school close. They just don't.
Right.
Sometimes the reality is the reality. We know the formal response from the teachers and the parent organizations that tried to keep it going, and in the end were unsuccessful in their efforts. Just in the general public, Corey, when you were out and about at Safeway or at a wild game, what were you hearing from people? Like, sorry it had to happen, or it's a tough decision to make, just from the general public and not those with specific vested interests in Columbia?
That's a really, really good question, because what I heard from the community was often support for working toward the right decisions, even though they're hard. A lot of times that's what we heard from folks is, hey, the right decision is not always the easy decision, but thank you for taking a fiscal responsible look at the school district, and not just what can we do for this year, what can we do for subsequent years, and what does our fund balance look like in the future. So a lot of support, everyone had an opinion on one side or another of the issue, but most people were always very supportive of the work that we were trying to do and trying to maintain a fund balance for the school district longitudinally.
Even if you don't have a kid in the district, it's still the Wenatchee School District. You have a vested interest in it, whether you have a kid in it or not.
Well, and to that point, Dan, is I look at the Wenatchee School District as synonymous with the Wenatchee Valley, and the Wenatchee Valley synonymous with Wenatchee School District. We are paired, we are united. Whether your students go to the school or whether they play soccer on our fields or they're in the Apple Bowl or wherever, we're one, and it's a great place to be.
You ever have any days where you go, what the hell did I get myself into? Why did I apply for Paul Gordon's job and Bill Eagle got it? Maybe we should have just let Bill keep it. Do you have days like that, or are they mostly good days?
They're good days. Yeah. And even, and that's, people have asked me that. It's like, careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
But no, it's fantastic. There are days I go home and the challenges are real and we take that home with us, but there's never a day that I don't wake up and am very grateful and blessed to be where I am.
And that is the news at 17 minutes after the hour. The news crew will be doing what they do best. Getting together in the newsroom, gathering the news, disseminating the news, and right out it comes at 5 o'clock. And you can just insert your own sound effect if you want. The news at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on TV. If you have like a smart TV, I have one. I can't believe I went so long without one. Or the internet or whatever, we'll have our news up and running on our homepage, ncwlife.com, our YouTube page, our Facebook page. We got it all. We got an app, and you can download the app by using the QR code right there on your screen. If something out there you think is newsworthy, we'd love to hear from you. Send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Randy Arozarena used to play for the Rays. Now he plays for us, and we're glad he does. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from Les.
Lifeline Ambulance has partnered with Wenatchee Valley Tech to provide EMT certification training within the high school. This opens up career opportunities in EMS, fire, and other medical fields, and gives these students a leg up when entering the workforce.
Students at Wenatchee Valley Tech, through our partnership with Lifeline Ambulance, can now earn their National Registry EMT certification.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
"20 minutes after the hour, Randy Arozarena smacked a 3-run home run against the team he used to play for. The Rays. Bryce Miller allowed 2 hits, tied a career high with 10 strikeouts over 7 innings. The Mariners beating the Rays 5-1 last night. The Mariners improved now to 3-1 under new manager Dan Wilson.
That is hammered deep into right center field, and Josh Lowe has hit a home run to give the Rays a 1-0 lead. No doubter off the bat at Josh Lowe as he circles the bases with his 8th home run. Well, he said be ready for the fastball. He got a fastball count.
Bryce Miller falling behind 3-0, and you're going to give him a good pitch to hit, and Josh Lowe did not miss it. 437 feet. That was a bomb.
Oh, this is smacked down the line. Does it have the height? It hit right off the foul pole, did it, and came back on the field. We're all tied. Just a screaming line drive, exit below 110. Able to keep it fair is the big key. Jumped on that fastball.
I have never seen a home run that low off a foul pole in my life. I mean, that's amazing. You could not put a baseball underneath where that ball landed and have it hit the yellow.
Here's the pitch. Swinging a ball popped up. Shallow left center field. Coming in Carlson with DeLuca, who dives and makes the catch. Johnny flat on his belly dove a long way toward left center on a little flare off the hands. He went in front of Carlson, the left fielder, to make the catch on the backhand.
And how many times have we seen Johnny DeLuca go tooth and nail after a ball like that? And he belly flops, but he hangs on. Nicely done.
Infield base hit.
All right, Minnesota Fats, thank you very much. Here's Arozarena, drives one. Right there, look it up there, baby Starling, get out of here! A 3-run homer, Randy Arozarena against this former team. And the Mariners have a 4-1 lead here in the 3rd. Randy with his 17th home run takes his RBI total to 46. His 2nd home run is the Mariners. That RBI total to 9, and how excited must he be?
Out to right field and a base hit. The Mariners add on. Leo Rivas continues his hot hitting. He drives home Rojas, and it's a 5-1 Mariners lead. Pretty good 2-out hitting tonight. Going to be another cutter. This one ends up in the middle of the plate, and he doesn't miss it. Mariners have scored in each of the last 3 innings. Head right on it. Good swing. He's been hot. The 3-2. Ground ball to Polanco. He snares it low, and that's the ball game. The Mariners win it in.
Miller retired the side in order in 5 of his 7 innings. And needless to say, manager Dan Wilson pretty happy about that.
You know, on the pitching side, I thought Bryce was outstanding. Had a really good game plan against this club, and really had good command of all his stuff. Turned it over to the bullpen. Voth and Thorny both threw outstanding innings. Again, tacking the zone, throwing strikes. These guys were in control. And then on the offensive side, a lot of great things. 4 runs tonight with 2 outs. Obviously, Randy's home run going the opposite way. Huge. A great at-bat. Rojas, being able to pick up some hits, one going the other way. Just a good night offensively, and gave the pitching some breathing room, and they were able to take advantage of that. So,
Mariners and Rays play again tonight. Logan Gilbert will take on Jeffrey Springs. First pitch on Root Sports is at 6:40. Pretty quiet on the scoreboard yesterday. Mondays normally are, but there you go. Mariners over the Rays, and yes, the Phillies with Bryce Harper, the hero, knocked off the Astros in 10 innings. The final there was 3-2. So the Mariners trail the Astros in the AL West by just 3.5 games now. They're 5.5 games back of the 3rd and final wild card spot. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. Yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas today. Actually, we have a ton of bananas. The obscure holiday is National Banana Day. Bananas in the wild, just naturally growing in the wild, they figure go back to Go back to about the 4th century BC. Most historians believe that bananas in the wild was originally found in Southeast Asia. That's a long time ago. And they were carried throughout Asia to Africa and then to the New World, and here we go. They've been cultivating bananas, growing them in plantations for about 2,000 years, so it's one of the very first cultivated fruits in the world where they could plant them and grow them on purpose. Been a long time since I had like a banana split or a banana smoothie. Bananas, tasty and good for you. Don't take my word for it, take Jefferson's word for it. He loves his bananas. National Banana Day today. Today in history, the shortest war ever. 38 minutes. Happened on this date, August 27th, 1896. 128 years ago, the Sultan of Zanzibar died. He was allied with the British. He died a couple of days earlier. His 29-year-old nephew, Khalid bin Bargash, declared himself the Sultan of Zanzibar and moved into the royal palace. He was not a friend of the British. He told the British to get out of town. So the Anglo-Zanzibar War broke out at 9 o'clock in the morning on August 27, 1896. The United Kingdom on one side, Zanzibar on the other. They bombed the bejesus out of the royal palace, and 38 minutes later, the head of Zanzibar said, okay, you win. It's the shortest recorded war in history. 38 minutes happened on this date 128 years ago. It finally happened for the one and only time. The Beatles and Elvis Presley meet. August 27, 1965, at Presley's mansion in Bel Air. There are no photographs. That is a very rare photograph. Elvis is on the far left in the upper corner. There's John Lennon. You can make out George Harrison a little bit because they had some fundamental ground rules. This whole meeting was set up between Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis's manager, and Brian Epstein, the manager of the Beatles. They're the ones who made all the arrangements. No pictures, no press, no recordings. Nobody was going to know in advance that this was actually going to happen. The encounter, however, was not a great success. According to the Beatles, they said Elvis was kind of out of it a little bit. The Beatles played pool with members of the Memphis Mafia. Colonel Tom Parker and Brian Epstein went off to another room to talk shop. No footage of the meeting takes place. It is rumored that they recorded a jam session, but no tape has ever existed. Elvis and the Beatles meet for the first and only time at Elvis Presley's mansion in Bel Air on this date 59 years ago today. Too bad nobody took at least one decent picture. And we lost Stevie Ray Vaughan on this date 34 years ago. I remember this very well. He had just performed at the Alpine Valley Music Theater in East Troy, Wisconsin with Robert Cray, the Memphis Horns, and Eric Clapton. Stevie Ray Vaughan was informed by a member of Clapton's entourage that there would be 3 seats open on a helicopter that was going to fly back to Chicago with Clapton's crew. Turns out there was only 1 seat available on the helicopter. Jimmy Vaughan, Stevie Ray Vaughan's brother, had already had the seat. Stevie Ray Vaughan asked Jimmy if he could give up his seat so he could take the helicopter back to Chicago, and the helicopter flew into a man-made ski slope while trying to navigate through dense fog. Stevie Ray Vaughan was 34 years old. But we got the music. Normally for birthdays, we don't do vice presidents, but we're going to give Charles Dawes a little love today. He was the 30th vice president of the United States. He was Calvin Coolidge's vice president, which means he didn't do much of anything because his boss didn't do much of anything either. He did win the 1925 Nobel Peace Prize, but he's probably best known for writing the #1 Billboard Hot 100 hit, It's All in the Game, which went to #1 in 1956 by Tommy Edwards. He is the only vice president of the United States to write a Billboard #1 hit. Charles Dawes. To my knowledge, Lyndon Johnson has never written a hit song in his lifetime. He was born on this date in 1908. The 36th president of the United States died of a heart attack at his ranch in Johnson City, Texas in 1973 at the age of 64. His grandfather had a very thriving business and then it went bankrupt, and he grew up in abject poverty. He ran away to California at the age of 15 to work odd jobs. He worked as a janitor to pay for his tuition at Southwestern State Teachers College. Then he taught high school. Then he became a congressional aide. He proposed to his wife, Lady Bird Johnson, on their very first date. When he won his Senate seat in 1948, 988,295 votes were cast. He won by 87 votes. He became known as Landslide Lyndon, one of only 4 people to have been a United States representative, the Senate Majority Leader, the Vice President, and the President of the United States. And he was well known for his work habits. He typically worked 18 hours a day. They called it the Johnson Double Day. He would work 8 hours, take a nap, and go back to work for another 8 hours. Lyndon Johnson, born in the state in 1908. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Looks like we're going to be firing up the AC again. You saw the forecast, mid-90s, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and right on into Monday. How's your AC holding up? It's been a rough year for it. It's been a workhorse. If you're not too sure, give Alpine Air a call. They're the best for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Who's going to live longer, Mike Magnotti or Keith Richards? My money's on Keith. And then Dr. Becky Berg, the superintendent of the Eastmont School District, will visit me. They go back to school tomorrow. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Want to stay up to date on the latest news in the area? Tired of paying for your news? Download the NCW Life app now. No subscriptions necessary. Get news, weather, sports, and more live as it happens. Available for iPhone and Android in the App Store. Local news at your fingertips. Don't miss the stories that matter to you. Stay connected. Download the NCW Life app now.
At Confluence Health, our mission is clear: to provide exceptional care for our community. We believe in healthcare that's personal and local because we're just like you, members of this great community.
We are Confluence.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
Local care by and for our community.
We are Confluence.
Highlander Golf Course and Grill, located in East Wenatchee, offers terrific views and challenging play for golfers at every skill level. From the golf course to the grill, you don't need to be a member to dine in style and play golf too. Highlander's well-groomed fairways and greens keep it difficult, yet friendly for your regular rounds of golf or a new destination for you and your out-of-town friends. Contact the Highlander Pro Shop today to schedule your tee time, outing, or tournament. Open 7 days a week, where everyone is welcome to play and eat.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. So I've got these pals from high school, the Rads, we call ourselves. Now, long explanation about the name, maybe another time, but we've been tight for well over 50 years, and we regularly get together for some sort of activity. Well, my buddy Bill suggested that for 2024, we go to the Rolling Stones concert in May at Lumen Field. Yeah, that's why I asked my wife, Rosie. I said, hey, would it be okay for me to go with the guys to the Stones concert? And she said, yeah. She said, better do it before you die, or before they die anyway. And then I thought, Keith Richards die? Why would anybody think that might happen? This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
What once was old now is new to the NCW Life channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCW Life channel, your local TV station.
Are you tired of getting less for your money? At Abby's, our founders placed over 100 slices of pepperoni on a giant pizza, and 60 years later, they haven't changed a thing. Order real value at abbys.com. right now, fresh and juicy tomatoes are in season. That's why Abby's is celebrating summer with a special pizza covered edge to edge with beef and Canadian bacon. And if you want it covered with fresh tomatoes, they'll do that too. Enjoy Abby's August special pizza at a very special price.
There's no place like home. Because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories. And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier. Total comfort. Totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Welcome back to the program. It's also welcome back to school for all of our area school districts and schools, period. Back to school for everybody, and for the first time in a while, it worked out pretty good. It's an early Labor Day this year. Both the Wenatchee School District calendars and the Eastmont School District calendars kind of fall into place, which is kind of sugar on the ice cream. Dr. Becky Berg is the superintendent of the Eastmont School District, and she is my guest today. Thank you. It's late August. This is about as busy as you get this time of the year, but thank you for carving out some time to visit with me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. We're good to go. I know you're excited. Students are excited. Teachers are excited. Back to school is an exciting time of the year for everybody, and that includes your office and your administrators and the group that you work with. This is just like the first. It's exciting for you folks as it is for everybody else who's involved in this system.
Absolutely. I've been in this business about 40 years, almost 40 years, and I still get butterflies in my stomach this time of year. And the teachers come back, and we're doing professional development together and learning, and it's just a buzz of excitement. So,
how are the teachers doing? How's morale among the staff as they head into the year?
Oh, it probably depends on the person, but we're all excited for the kids to come back. That's the lifeblood of what we do, and build those relationships with the little ones and the big ones and the ones that need you most. So we're excited for that.
It's early in the year. You won't know. You'll do a number of head counts, but you'll have a general idea about enrollment for the entire school district. Enrollment is gradually decreasing, not a dramatic drop off, but gradual. You know the birth rates, you know your incoming kindergarten class, you have a general idea with how many of those kids who go into the system now will be exiting the system in 13 years. Where are we enrollment wise? Just the same deal, just a gradual downward trend?
A gradual decrease. Our senior class was over 500 and our kindergarten class is 358, I believe, at this point. But we won't know until we see the whites of their eyes. So we're looking forward to next Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday we can get a firmer number.
500 is a big number, but it was also kind of an anomaly. I mean, you're kind of trending at that way, but you knew 5 years ago you were trending the other way and would be eventually.
Yep. Birth rates are dropping in Douglas County, in Washington State, even in other places around the world. And we have an affordable housing problem. So when a young family moves in, what can they afford? What can they rent? What can they buy? It's a bit of a problem right now.
75% of Becky's budget is state funded, and it's pretty much by pupil, and that's how that works. And then the rest of it is divvied up amongst, operations, levies, and things like that. So the state will eventually cut you a check, but all school districts are under a bit of a budgetary crunch. It's Eastmont's not alone, everybody's in it. Federal funding during the COVID crisis is now gone. How's the budget looking as we head into the new school year?
You know, Eastmont has a strong tradition of being conservative when it comes to budgeting. We have a healthy reserve, rainy day fund. We've been told by local education officials that we're in the top percentage of folks who manage their budget well, but that doesn't come without some pretty consistent analysis and cuts when we need to. If we have a certain team with only 6 kids that try out and we're spending $3,000 on coaching for the 6 kids, do we continue to run that team or that club? job. So we're always making adjustments like that. What is a kind of a double whammy between the enrollment slight decline, thank goodness it's slight, is the inflationary prices that we're all paying. Our liability insurance went up $300,000 in 1 year. It's expenses like that that are hitting our local taxpayers' pocketbooks and the school district as well.
I did my part. I should predicate what I'm going to say next by saying, Becky and I first got together back in the fall of 2022 when the $185 million school construction bond was floated for the voters of the Eastmont School District. 51.5% roughly. It didn't pass. More people voted yes than no, but it still didn't pass.
Right.
You guys looked at it. Becky, you said, okay, let's back off a little bit. That might have been a little pie in the sky. Let's take it down to 117 million with some federal funds. And you floated it again in the spring of this year. 59.56%, just agony. Have you gotten past that yet? Where are you? I mean, I know you're an incredibly positive person and you're a tremendous educator, but that must have been one bad night.
It's going to take a few more decades for me to get over that, I think. 34 yes votes short. But Eastern Washington's real tough to pass a bond. That supermajority limits us. And we just have to listen to the will of the people. If they're not ready for it, if they're battling inflationary costs as well, then they're our lifeblood. So we have to listen to that. So it'll be a year or so before we go back out, and we'll probably have to make it a smaller bond even yet. But those needs in our schools didn't go away.
Yeah, as you mentioned before when we visited one time, one portable is one portable too many, and Lee has more portables than school.
I think so. Yes. And Kenroy is out of spaces. Our music teacher was booted off the stage because it wasn't up to fire code, so she's now in a portable. So we're literally running out of spaces. We're not growing right now, so we're running out of program-specific spaces. But we'll wait and see what the next couple of years holds.
And the Eastmont School District, geographically speaking, is big. A lot of kids ride the bus. A lot of kids ride the bus, and the transportation issues haven't changed. You still got the buses parked outside, and you're still paying outrageous for gasoline prices. Is that one of the more critical things that you think you need to address probably sooner than later, is the transportation issues?
We'll have to do something. We've talked with the board just briefly about building up our capital budget somehow. If the roof at Rock Island needs to be replaced, that's a huge check to write. So we've got to be vigilant about those absolute needs. We ran a thought exchange survey with the community after that November bond. We had almost 1,000 people respond, and the bus garage didn't resonate with a lot of our voters. The classrooms and the elementary schools that connected athletic facilities and bus garage and things like that didn't resonate. So we shall see.
Well, I can see that to a certain extent. But as you mentioned, and this has happened a couple of times in the Eastmont School District over the last couple of years, some things just, you have to fix them.
Right.
I mean, they are condemned or they are unsafe or whatever. The light posts at the stadium, they simply had to go. You could not use them anymore.
Exactly.
Things like that, and that's you have to budget that stuff.
You do. Our visitors' bleachers, only one person has fallen through, so we removed those this summer and are putting that back. But you'd be amazed how much those things cost.
Yeah.
And we had donated labor.
Yeah, and these are things you just have to, they're coming down the pike. They're unavoidable.
Just like at your home.
Yeah, exactly. It's Wednesday as we tape this. You had the school board meeting last night, hashing through a lot of issues. But the thing that really jumped out, and this is something that's been on your radar now for a few months, is Title IX compliance, transgender athlete issues. If you go to school, you get to participate in athletics. It's part of it. We all agree extracurricular activities of any kind makes you a better student and a better person, whether it's athletics or band, or it doesn't matter what it is. Parents have raised concerns about how Title IX and transgender athletes work or don't work, and you're handcuffed in many respects. There's court cases, there's the WIAA. After last night's meeting, where are we with all of that right now?
Well, we clearly know we're not the decision makers. The WIAA governs sports, then there's state and federal law, and anybody who watched the Olympics was even kind of drawn into this conversation. But what we do know is we know our kids, and our kids should have a chance to participate in as much as they can, despite their gender. But we also need to be safe, and we need it to be fair competition. So what we know for sure is what's happening right now isn't working for all of our kids. What the final solution is, we really don't know, and that's really out of our lane as a school board and as a school district. Our community feels pretty strongly that a recent track meet in the spring was unfairly an unfair competition. That sentiment is pretty broad in the community. So we tried last night to write a letter to policymakers, everybody ranging from the WIAA to the federal policymakers. Those letters are going out today. We also passed a resolution saying that we believe in fairness, we don't believe in discrimination, all of those pieces, but this is not working. And when our kids suffer, we all suffer as a community, so it needs to be fixed.
The legislature needs to address this. I'm not saying that the school district are kicking it down the road, but as I mentioned already, you're kind of handcuffed in many respects.
It's Title IX is federal law, state law, and the WIAA follows federal and state laws. And what I learned a little bit is every administration federally has their own twist on Title IX. And so that's been interesting too. There's an injunction holding the implementation of Biden's Title IX back. But that's really just, I think, creating some breathing room while the adults figure it out or try to figure it out.
Do you think the adults can figure it out, or should the legislature say, school districts get together, write up a bill that we can vote on and get signed by whoever's going to be the governor, and maybe we can we get this all straightened out?
You know, we'll take a solution from anybody, you know, we've got teaching and learning every darn day is pretty much full-time job. We haven't written much legislation as a school district, but we sure have strong relationships with our decision makers, with our elected officials, and that's what they are there for.
Do you think this is good? Here's a copy of the letter and the resolution. Do you think this is going to have any impact at all, or is it going to sit in the back of somebody's desk drawer?
Like you said, I'm an optimist, and I choose to be an optimist. I believe the board did the right thing in reflecting the beliefs of our community. That's what we know. We know our kids, we know our community, and that's what sometimes the policymakers are a little bit disconnected from. So we hope it will resonate. We certainly hope it will. I believe more school districts will probably be doing this, and so we'll see what popular opinion does to change decision makers' minds.
The concerns of the parents have merit.
Mm-hmm.
And they spoke eloquently and I don't want to say forcefully, but they certainly made their point across at the meeting a number of months ago. The communication has been always one of your strengths. They spoke their mind, but where do we go from here if nothing happens?
Right.
And nothing may happen.
Right.
We need to predicate that.
Well, the first relationship we need to preserve is with our kids, our families, and our school board and our administration. And so I think this action from last night takes us closer together. It means we heard you, and we feel it's important too. So I think that's the closest form of local control that we can get. How far it goes, I really don't know. But you know, one note, shout out to the people of the Valley, especially in Eastmont. The night we had a packed house, there was a tremendous amount of respect for our transgender athletes and our from birth athletes, for lack of a better term. Both children that finished in that Kashmir Junior Olympics race have been getting nasty social media posts from adults, and no one wants that to happen despite what gender or what category you're running under. So our community, I was very proud of them that night.
When meetings, any public meeting ends up being name calling and people walking out and nothing gets done, if anything, you regress in making things happen in that respect.
And having that civility really helped us all hear, and we didn't have to put up our defenses. We could hear the vulnerability of everyone's ideas. It was a great night. Tough subject, but it was a great night.
I think this will eventually end up in the I mean, Title IX is a federal mandate and a much needed one. I mean, who's kidding who? I'm all in favor of Title IX. Is this eventually going to end up in the hands of the United States Congress, one way or the other? They can't just say, okay, it's up to the individual school districts, because you still have to fall under the Title IX umbrella.
Federal law trumps all.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, anyway.
Again, I'm an optimist. Maybe Congress.
Yes, you're an optimist.
Maybe they'll pull it through.
New principal at Eastmont High School,
Yes.
Lance Noel, wants to go back to teaching, and God bless Lance. He was just a wonderful, wonderful human being. Every time I'd see him on campus, I call him Mr. Noel. He said, "Call me Lance." I said, "I'm a near turf. It's Mr. Noel. If I see a Safeway, I'll call you Lance."
There you go.
Pretty big shoes to fill. Lance was a pretty popular guy and a very well-respected administrator and educator. Talk about the new principal who'll be taking over your flagship school.
So we love Lance, or Mr. Noel, or whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure I've seen a high school principal as loving and as relationship-oriented as Lance. So it will be a loss for us eventually this year. They're going to kind of co-principal, and then Lance is going to fade away and handle our ALE programs. When I visited Canyon View Group Home, basically, with him, which are all adjudicated youth, he knew their stories as well as he knew the star athlete stories. He has a heart for all kids, and especially kids who've hit some trouble in their lives. So he will be where he's meant to be, and it's been a great, great decision on his part. Mr. Enders comes to us from Oregon, but has worked in Ellensburg and in the state before. And I had a great conversation with him when you interviewed him, because we're both English teachers, so we got to talk authors. I'm not sure how engaged the others were, but he is a thoughtful, smart person with a lot of insights, who knows Washington State, and has signed his name on the bottom line to live in East Wenatchee after seeing, I think, 55 houses. So affordable housing and the market matters.
It does matter, and people are still moving here to the Wenatchee Valley, and they're going to continue to move here. That's not going to change. And one of the things that people look at, and I ask your counterpoint on the other side of the river, I ask Lance this. So when people come here, and this is going to be their home, we're going to put down roots. I got a job. I got a good, solid job. My wife's got a good, solid job. We're going to build careers and family. We're going to be invested in the community, going to volunteer our time. They look at schools. We got Johnny is 7 and Susie is 4, and they're going to go through the Eastmont School District. That's one of the first things that they look for, is the quality of the schools. Your message to those people?
Well, I've actually studied school choice quite a bit, and in the U.S., the main way we exercise school choice is exactly that, is moving into the school district of choice. We can always do better because we're in the human business, and until we're at 100% success rate in all the indicators of a whole child education, we won't be satisfied. But I personally can swear I'd have my child in any of the Eastmont schools. They all have different strengths, different areas to grow. We're more united in instruction and teaching and learning than we have been for years. So there's less variability. If you go to this school, you have to get this teacher. If you go to this school, you have to get this teacher. We want a guaranteed experience for all of our kids. That doesn't mean command control. That means our teachers, we're really empowering our teachers to solve instructional problems as teams.
Do you miss teaching? Do you miss being in the classroom?
I love teaching, and I love junior high kids.
Yeah. Yes, so hormones run amok.
When I get out in the schools to torment children, I head most to the junior highs because they're just, I love them.
But you get out of the office, fireplace or not, you get out of the office, and because that's where the real work is being done.
That's where the real work is. I don't think any administrator feels like they're in classes enough. It's probably all of our New Year's resolution, but that's where the action is. That's when reality hits the grand theories that we produce from district office.
And your batting average on keeping kids in school is above average, because you can pick these kids out. You find them in 9th and 10th grades early on in September and October. They're just there. They're just warm in seats, and we got to get to these kids because they might just say, "Ah, to hell with it." But you're the professionals, not only at the high school and the Sterling level, but throughout the district. You have a keen awareness of who these kids are and how to find them and keep them going to class, and that is key, isn't it?
It's huge. We know our kids by name and strength and need, and we're trying to make sure our systems support those needs. We have a new strategic plan that about 50 community members and staff members helped with over the course of last year, and it really talks about academic competence, about a high quality instructional experience for our kids, and about student voice and engagement and cultural acceptance. So this year we have goals in each of those areas. And I'm excited about all of them, but part of our indicators in belonging is I have an adult at school that I can talk to in addition to my parents. Do I or don't I? I feel culturally accepted. I'm in extracurricular activities, and that I come to school because I'm leading the assembly. I come to school, and we'll take that. We'd like them to come for Algebra 2, but we'll take it all. And then our attendance goals fit in there as well.
There's nothing like the epiphany that a teacher and a student get at the same time, when the teacher has made the impact and the student is, I get it. Once you unlock that door, anything is possible.
That's the secret sauce. And if we think about our own teachers, we felt a connection with them. Our favorites we had a relationship with, and we learned a lot from them at the same time. So that's what we strive for in Eastmont. And
the school board's happy with it because he got an extension, and that's always good.
There you go.
So,
That's always good.
Always a good thing.
Yes.
Dr. Becky Berg, from the superintendent of the Eastmont School District, thank you for joining. Have a great school year. We'll see you at the various events that we'll be covering over the course of the year. We always try and cover as much Eastmont extracurricular activities as possible. Go Huskies.
Go Huskies. And the pleasure is ours to be able to talk about our school and our kids, and we'll see you during football season.
Anytime you want to drop by and pay us a visit, Dr. Berg, we'd love to see you.
Okay, likewise. Right. Take care.
You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
Most of us are in touch with the internet in one way or another all day long. A fast, secure connection matters. It keeps us entertained, informed, and in touch. Local cares about your connection. We know strong, reliable internet with your choice of speed makes life better. If you need fast, reliable internet, or maybe an upgrade, or you just have questions, connect with us by visiting localtel.com or call 509-888-8888 today.
It's that time of year to get the springtime toys ready. Doghouse Motorsports has everything you need to get the show on the road or the trail. If a new machine is in the plan, Doghouse now has a complete inventory from which to choose. So get ready to ride. When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family, and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Just about time to send you on your way. 64 degrees here in the big city. It hasn't moved at all, but the wind has picked up. It was 10 miles an hour before we started the show. Then it was 15 miles an hour. The wind is out now to the west-northwest at 21 miles an hour, and it's going to get stronger as the day progresses. This is a very vigorous but fast-moving cold front. It's going to come in. It's going to come out by noon or so tomorrow. It'll be out of here, but there is a red flag warning for some of our viewing area. That's that red circle that well, it's not really a circle. It kind of looks like Maine tilted sideways. But there is a red flag warning in that red area there. They're going to have some very strong winds, and relative humidity is going to be pretty darn low. We're not in a red flag area because our relative humidity is going to stay high enough to keep us out of the red flag warning realm of things. But everybody is going to be dealing with a lot of wind today, but again, it's going to die down in the overnight hours. It'll be just a little breezy tomorrow morning, and it'll be out of here by Wednesday afternoon, and then a warm, dry period of gooey good sunshine is heading our way. From the National Weather Service that I mentioned, it's going to be windy. It's going to start out with clouds, and you see the clouds are already starting to depart as the winds pick up. It'll be scouring the clouds right on out of here, but we're only going to get to 70. That's about 15 degrees below where we should be. this time of the year. Pretty chilly for the overnight low, 49. It is a cold front after all. Once we start warming up, it's going to be really nice. 80 on Wednesday, a normal high of 86 on Thursday, and then we get into the weekend. A lot of people will be taking Friday off because they have Monday off. Nothing wrong with a 4-day weekend there. We won't have one, of course. 91 on Friday, 94 Saturday, 96 Sunday, 92 Monday. By Tuesday, with the holiday over, the high pressure ridge will be moving out of here. But we're in for a nice stretch of weather after today. Have yourself a great Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.